Good afternoon and welcome to Leadership Talks. This is Season 1, Episode 15, and this is a 20-minute Q&A every Thursday at 12:30 Eastern Time with an industry leader. And today, our leader is Jeremy Brecher, the CTO of Securitas. Welcome, Jeremy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. My first question is always, I don't know if you looked at the YouTube recordings of this, but my first question is always the same. Clearly, it's called Leadership Talks. So I have to ask you, what is your personal leadership style?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, I'm sure it's all about perspective as well. But I would say that I'm in technology, but most of the time. And most of my career, I've spent time with our customers, and I like to make sure that we understand the details with the teams, that we're always engaging our customers, understanding how what we do and anything related to back office IT or more front office IT like monitoring centers and call centers, and see how it how our customers are impacted by it, and make sure that's aligned with what our customers are thinking. But I think from my people and for the teams, I really like to challenge the team, see them grow. I love seeing the team grow, but getting into details, but give them enough room to make own decisions and take on initiatives on their own. So it's a great security industry is a great space for that. It's small enough that you can make a lot of contacts, but there's so many opportunities for growth for people and along their career. And I like to enable that, and I like to push hard enough that we meet or exceed our goals, but at the same time have a great working team, and obviously in security space also very relationship based. So that's kind of my my philosophy, high level.
All right, cool. How long have you been in the security industry? And obviously I believe it's going to be a long time, but tell me what you think is the greatest change in the industry since you've joined.
Yeah, I mean, I've joined. I joined a long time ago, right out of college, and I've been in space over 22 years. In electronic security and security in general. Yeah, so it's a great space, and once you're in and you realize what a great area to work. Most people don't leave, and I think I've seen the transition. I've been around long enough that you went from serial to IP or coax to IP. So you've seen that kind of the IP enablement of security devices take off through the cycle that I've been in. You also see, obviously we've had, over the 2000s, we've had our risk profiles change, where security has become a prominent force. In any conversation, where in the past it might have just been kind of something we have to do. Now security is something that's a priority. But I see now we see as we're moving forward, we see a whole new world that's driven by the consumer space. It's driven by the internet, social media, IoT. All these next level device enablement and data. And then what you can do with the data, all those pieces now are kind of pushing their way into our space, and some more than others. Obviously, commercial space less than consumer, but on the consumer space, you see the dynamics changing and the customer expectations changing.
Wow, I mean, I totally agree with everything you just said. The role of Securitas in this industry, tell us about, just give us a rundown of Securitas, the history, what you guys do, and then what you do specifically as CTO.
Sure. Yeah. So, Securitas has been around for a good amount of time, based out of Stockholm, Sweden. We're a publicly listed company out there. Our main focus is in a handful of different business lines, all related to security. We're one of the largest global security companies in the world, with over 300,000 employees. And our main focus is around officers, on-site officers, mobile response, remote guarding, And then we have electronic security, which is alarm monitoring, installations of camera, intrusion, access control. And we also have our Pinkerton division, which is more about risk management, investigations, protective services, all kinds of advanced risk solutions. And so those are our three pillars. And so I'm CTO of North America, and I oversee our technology across those lines within North America, which is U.S., Canada, Mexico. North America is one of the largest units for Securitas globally, and so really just making sure that we have a strategy around our customer-facing technology, at our back office. Technology is meeting our expectations of what kind of company we want to be going forward, and that we stay ahead of our game.
So obviously, I always Google the person that I'm going to be talking to, for this webcast, and I found a press release from July, and it stated that you'll be championing the development of the next generation cloud security as a service and managed customer services for Securitas. Can you just tell us about today's offerings and what that next generation looks like to you?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's many different ways to talk about this, really depending on country and vertical. But we see like everyone in the macro world of technology, data is going to be a big part of what our company is about moving forward, and it could be data specific to a customer. It could be trending data across a region or across a vertical. And we know that, at Securitas, we have, hundreds of thousands of officers. We have, tens of thousands of customers, and, there's data there. And leveraging that data for becoming more prescriptive with our security solutions, becoming more dynamic, adding more value to the programs that we have. That's kind of underpinning thought of what we see our company doing over the years and continue to invest in. So as it relates to services, we're thinking the same thing. Obviously, data could drive a lot of next generation services and make them more intelligent. But from anywhere from expanding our remote guarding teams, expanding services in our monitoring centers, we've developed SOCs like security command centers around the globe, and really trying to meet customer needs and bridging the gap between some of our different services, bringing them together in these common command centers, common tools. So we see us continue to evolve and move up the food chain, but again, data driving a lot of these newer intelligent services.
So we are on the subject. Talk about AI and what you guys are doing with artificial intelligence.
Yeah, so part of the strategy as well is to look at machine learning and AI type of technologies, and we've already started to invest, but we'll continue to invest in seeing how these tools could help us both for operational efficiency, but as well as again mitigating customer risks, being more proactive versus reactive. There's all kinds of things, especially in security, that data can unlock, both again from many facets. So we've purposefully started to make investments both in North America, but as well as in Europe and other areas of the world, where actually building that expertise within house, so that we could start to leverage some of these data sets that we're collecting and try to get more visibility, get more value out of it.
Okay. So I was assuming that you were responsible for just the electronic security side of Securitas, but you said you oversee the guard services in Pinkerton. What is your use of unmanned vehicles and drones today, and do you see that increasing?
Yeah, I mean I think no doubt those technologies are here. I don't think they're replacement technologies today. They're augmentative. We definitely leverage those technologies today, and we run them through either our SOC or other services in combination with services. But I think everyone realizes that autonomous vehicles and drones are a big part of the future of many things. That you see videos of people getting delivered at a hotel, get their beverages delivered to them at their hotel room, right? Or you see Amazon trying to deliver packages, just on the commercial space, which is right is this big world. We definitely already have use cases where drones and robots are helping augment the workforce, and I think it will continue to evolve, but it's definitely here to stay.
Okay. Looking at the market sectors, that you play in, you have public sector, you got education, healthcare, banking. What is the fastest growing sector, and why do you think?
That's a good question. I mean, I think right now, economy is doing well, so there's a lot of growth, both kind of in a new construction realm in many verticals. So, kind of on the enterprise side, there's a lot of opportunities for projects, both critical infrastructure type of projects, but as well as just large commercial enterprise. So we see that growing just because you walk around a lot of cities, you see a lot of cranes. That means there's a lot of new work. But I think that even today, as the security landscapes change, if you think about national accounts, from electronic security perspective, you think about large national accounts. They're always looking to improve their program. They're growing, investing in that business. And and then ultimately, events that occur, threats that change, or also help. It unfortunately helps, but it does create opportunity for new services and needs, in almost every facet of our business. But yeah, I don't know. I'd be hard pressed to tell you that there's one shining vertical here. I think that it's pretty even. From our perspective, there's some pretty even opportunity across a lot of different spaces.
Okay, interesting. I did a webcast the other day, and they were saying loud and clear that the education market seems to be the strongest. But
yeah, if you're focused, yeah, I think it depends where you play. I mean, it depends where you play, and obviously some are better than others. But I'm sure education is, again, there's tons of risk and opportunity there, and to prove security conditions, right? And so you're going to see a lot of movement there. And if you're playing in it, you'll see it.
Absolutely.
If you're playing in it heavily.
We were talking specifically about access control, so I can see that playing.
Sure.
Part.
Yeah.
But I want you to talk about yourself here for a second. But in an article I read, Tony Byerly, president of Securitas Electronic Security, said Jeremy's vision, leadership, and track record of implementing innovative cloud-based services for SES, I guess that's Securitas Electronic Security,
that's
and
right,
our customers is unmatched within the electronic security industry today. So comment on that. Come on, talk about yourself for a minute, and how do you position, Jeremy versus others, and how do you position yourself within your organization in terms of the technology and the knowledge?
Well, I think I've been very lucky in my career. I've worked very, very closely with our customers in all aspects, mostly in electronic security. And and because of the business lines we're in, we're talking about large Fortune 100, 500, critical infrastructure, government customers. And my career has always been a combination of internal IT and customer-facing IT. So everything from running the ERP stack to run the business, to running their monitoring and call centers, to installing global access and video solutions, right? And I've been very involved in the field level and at the executive level, in all those areas. Again, not just in a vacuum, sitting side by side with our customers, finding solutions, learning from them about their programs. So it's enabled me to have kind of a for our space a well-rounded perspective of how back office touches the customer and how these technologies all come together. So for me specifically, it helps me, understand our customers and how technology fits into their environment. And so we've been able to create over the years, being sold from just recently being sold to Securitas from Diebold. We had to rebuild, most of our technology stack during that process as we were carved out from building, SecureStat. And some of the other, advanced IT programs that we have, like through Diebold, and prior to that, even where I worked prior at ACI. We've put together some, we ran on the forefront of a lot of these technologies, even back in the IP days when that was new. So I've just been lucky. I've been blessed that I've had a lot of great mentors over the years, and I've got a lot of great companies, and the ability to again meet and work very closely with great customers, and also great technology providers that we work with in our space and in the general IT space. And so I've really enjoyed it. And again, that's what makes security so great, is that technology becomes very tangible very quick, because at the end of the day, yes, we're all here to do a job, but we're protecting companies and we're protecting people, and there's a lot of value at the when you sit back and think about what we're actually doing, is we add a lot of value to the world, and we're protecting even your own family, and and that's great, and it's very collaborative, and I really enjoyed it.
Excellent. I want to play a game. Hopefully you don't mind. I want to give you
Sure.
a word. And it's kind of word association here. I'm going to give you a word. Give me what comes to your mind first. All right.
Okay.
Drone.
Drones. Future.
Okay. And you can elaborate a little bit too. So.
Okay. Sure.
How about PSM?
Yeah, I think I think it has its place. And I think that it has its place for different types of needs, but I think we're evolving from maybe what the original thought of PSM was, as we think about a more connected world, and we think about cloud. But we have plenty of PSM installations, and we still put them in for command centers and different needs. But I think that there's other ways some of those challenges are being solved, for where at one point you'd think PSM, now it's being solved in other ways.
Okay, perfect. Cloud,
the catchword, but it is what the world is shaping up to be, is really what I say is services, right?
Right.
And subscribing to things versus buying them. I think Amazon does a much better job maintaining data centers and infrastructure than most other companies could. And why do not as good a job for more money, right? So it's kind of no brainer.
Yeah, I think there's not going to be any options, as we move forward. And, people.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, if you think about it, there's two things. If you merge the reality of cybersecurity. Back in the day, you could install this ERP or this software application in your office, and you'd be like, "Ooh, I'm not going to touch that for 2 years." But this day and age, you're continually updating to stay ahead of the threats, and stay ahead, and then also stay with current. The world changes fast, and it's not so easy to do that on your own. So when you have software as a service, they take care of that for you, and they do it in a larger scale, and you don't get left behind, both from risk and capabilities.
So you mentioned risk. So my next word is hack.
Yeah, it's a scary world out there.
It is.
I don't think we really grasp, the real threats here, and ultimately what it's going to take to stay ahead of the threats. It's not just technology. It's mostly not technology. Technology is a piece, but it's awareness, it's process, procedure, vigilance. There's a lot to it, and the way everything works is the weakest link is where your gap is, and so as other areas get better and more robust, if we don't, as a security industry, if we don't keep up, we'll become the soft target, especially in our space, and we have a ways to go, and I think the awareness there, but there's still a lot to do.
So you say we have a ways to go, and I agree. Where do you think we are today? Like, if we would put on a scale from 1 to 10, where are we as an industry to recognize vulnerabilities and recognize that this is truly an issue that we have to deal with?
Yeah, I think it depends. I think, there's never a 10, because you're never done, right? It's an ongoing, it's a daily or hourly or sometimes minute battle. But I will say that it depends on different verticals. Some are more mature than others, or more risk adverse than others. Like on the home space, I think there's a lot of quick products to market. not a lot of sophistication per se, and the consumer understanding what it means. Commercial side, there's more understanding and there's bigger governance and more understanding. But I think, I think a few years ago we were in much further down the line, not as far down the line in terms of awareness. I think now the awareness is out there for everyone. So I would say we're probably down the middle road at this point.
Okay. All right. Perfect. It looks like we're right on time here, so we're going to have to end. Jeremy, I want to thank you for joining us today, and everybody out there, I do thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you at the next Leadership Talks event, which is going to be next year on January 4th. Jeremy, I want to wish you and your family a safe and happy holiday, and to all you folks out there, happy holidays. And I guess that's it. Well, actually, I do have one more thing. I have to do a plug. Jeremy, you've been there, and I'm not going to ask you to comment on it, but I do want to make a plug for our TechSec event coming up in February 26th and 27th in beautiful Delray Beach, Florida. TechSec started as a conference 13 years ago to talk about IP and how IP was going to impact the industry. And as Jeremy, IP was the industry, years ago at this point.
Yes.
So it's become the new technology event where the who's who of the industry comes to talk about technology where it is today and where it's going to be tomorrow, and kind of create a roadmap for it. And Jeremy, I appreciate all of your efforts and what you've done for us in the past for TechSec, and hopefully we'll see you again this year or next year. But for now, thank you everybody for joining us. And Jeremy, again, have a great holiday.
You too. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay. Yep. Bye-bye.